Hey, welcome to How to Build Your Own Home. I want to talk about dry-in. Dry-in is the time where your sheeting, your framing, it's all done and you're protecting the roof. And I want to talk about what not to do next and what to hold out for and how to schedule a couple of things. These are things that a lot of owner builders and even a lot of experienced builders aren't really aware of. Being a former roofer, we're going to get on the roof. I'm going to show you what I talk about. Okay, we're up here on the roof and I want to walk you through a couple of steps here. Once you have your roof dried in, and given that I'm in a mountain build, I've got a lot of inclement weather here. I'm not going to roof this until I'm done with this. And why am I going to do that? Because it depends on what I put here. I could put stucco, I could put rock, brick, shiplap. No matter what I put up here, it's going to require a good foundation to walk on. And as you can see, subcontractors have been up here and we've had really a lot of rain up here and we track mud everywhere. So I don't want damage to the roof until I get done with this. Plus I need my roof flashing put right around here so that the siding guys, we're going to do some hardy and some other different types of siding up here. They come down with their paper over the top of the flashing here, and then they start putting their product up here. Now, if I'm going to paint that, which I'm going to do, I'm going to be painting that product that's going to put on the wall here. They're going to overspray, and again, that could get on the roof itself. So that's why I use an ice and water shield on my roof, because I need it to withstand a lot of traffic, a lot of overspray. And on the chimney over on the east side of the building over there, it's going to be a very large chimney that is right on top of the roof, and that's going to be rocked with a mason. Can you imagine the mess that a mason makes? They drop all kinds of mess on the roof, stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of builders, even owner builders, make the mistake of hurrying getting the roof done, and then subcontractors have to come up here and paint and do masonry work and all kinds of work. And I've seen roofs really get mangled because of that. So I always put a really good dry-in product here so that guys can work there, and drop some mess, clean it up. And when that's all said and done, then the roofers come in and finish. Now, there's some flashing that they can put on, and there's a plastic film on it. So if anything drops, paint, masonry, mortar, whatever it might be, after it's all done, you just peel that off, the flashing, and you got a clean look. But you need to have that flashing on there first. So I'll come back and give you another update on this. But I just wanted to tell you and show you that a dry-in can stay dried in just as it is like this for quite some time. There's a lot of good products out there. Don't put tar paper down. Tar paper is just going to flap away. This is a peel and stick product. And if you get a peel and stick product with your thumb tabs on there, it's going to stay on there, and you can have this on the roof protecting all the work below for several months. And I've seen dry-ins last half a year, while a lot of complexity is being done elsewhere on the home. This is just an update on the Pine Valley North job, giving you a real good view of the steps to take, what products to use, and how to be prepared for, so guys can come up here and get this applied without having to finish the roof. This is How to Build Your Own Home, talking about drying.